You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
And this is Sunday, January 21st, and you have indeed entered a special edition of Overtime tonight in recognition of the 6th annual Quincy Shootout. For 48 hours this weekend, over 17 marvelous contests, the Tri-States enjoyed high school basketball competition unrivaled for excellence anywhere in the United States. And we were the epicenter of incredible nationwide attention. And the really unique and telling part of that experience for all of us here is that whether you spent 15 minutes or 15 hours at the event, you still walked away today wanting more. Now, that is a credit to a host of incredible organizers and sponsors who go above and beyond with this event. But also, an event doesn't grow to this level in just 7 years without catching a bit of lightning in a bottle. And to be maybe more direct about it than I should, some of that success here traces to what we call casino logic. The notion that landing a few special patrons, big fish or whales in gambling parlance, can totally make or break an entire enterprise. And in that regard, Quincy Shootout organizer Eric Stratman has struck basketball gold with some elite relationship building.
You know, I'm a facilitator, and I get buckets, and I win.
Make no mistake about it, current Wasatch Academy point guard and future Ohio State Buckeye.
I just felt it was the best fit for my game, you know, and I had a great relationship with the coaches, you know, just going out to dinner, talking to them, knowing what they see what they see in my game, you know, stuff like that.
John Mobley Jr. is very much a star in the making, but not one willing to coast on reputation. And in that regard, he showed up at the Quincy Shootout this weekend with an agenda.
I mean, we just want to come and make our mark, you know, let teams know that, you know, like club teams in the country know that we're not playing around. Like we got a couple players out, but you know, we still coming to play hard and coming to win. I mean, it's super important to me. I mean, we see some of these teams down the line, you know, we don't want them to come in thinking, oh yeah, we got them. Like, nah, like, it's gonna be a fight every time.
I mean, we've pivoted a couple times this year with style and things like that, and so it's just another opportunity to just try our new style out and just get used to the guys that we have now. You know, guys were ready to step up, and now they just need court time. So, you know, regardless of the outcome, they need to get used to being on the road, to game planning, guys that maybe didn't lock in as much before. So this is another opportunity for them.
Amid all the blue chip basketball glitterati on the floor at Blue Devil Gym at this shootout, that's what tends to get a little lost. That these future NCAA stars and even a few likely pros are still just kids growing through the game of basketball. A point I was reminded of when I saw future Missouri Tiger and current Lynx star T.O. Barrett tell his coach Bill Armstrong that Blue Devil Gym was the nicest locker room he's ever seen at the high school level. It hammers home the point that this, in fact, is a learning experience, which is why the elite teams like Wasatch Academy.
The atmosphere is, you can't match it anywhere. Sometimes being a prep school, we don't get to play in front of crowds like this, you know, very often, so we're excited, you know, just to play in front of this crowd is amazing.
And even the biggest fish in the pond, Link Academy, are as big of fans of coming to us and playing in our Quincy Shootout as we are of having them here.
So first off, it's a 5-hour drive, so we can come over here and, you know, get acclimated a little bit quicker than we do when we have to travel by plane. But the most important thing is just how well Eric and all of his team run this thing. You know, it's very well organized. The competition's good, and then the fanfare is excellent. You know, it's as good an atmosphere as we play in all year.
And that's really the ultimate credit both to the tri-state region and to the Quincy Shootout itself. Look, Bill Armstrong knows his highly esteemed Link program is both a traveling basketball circus and could be playing anywhere in the country it wants to this weekend. What he's found here is an audience worthy of appreciating the entertainment both he and his players provide.
Oh, it's great. You know, they get to come in and see it and see the excitement about basketball and see the excitement about, you know, what they've been working really, really hard to prepare to do, and to see that people enjoy watching them play and enjoy the product that's put on the floor. I think that means the world to be able to see that.
What's that like for you, knowing you're always going to get everybody's best punch and eyes are always on your kids?
I think it's great for our guys. You know, that's why they come here, and that's why they work so hard, and to get to come here and play great competition competition in front of great fans and basketball fans that get excited about basketball. I mean, that's why we do it. That's why they work so hard, and they're excited about the opportunity. This is our third year back in a row. We've been here all 3 years at that we've had a program, so it's one of our favorite events in the country.
That's pretty awesome to hear if you think about it and you think about the quality of that compliment that the Link folks and the Wasatch folks are laying right here. Bodes for very special things ahead, and I think we will see them all coming up yet again. Now, coming up next on this special edition of Overtime, we've got a long-form conversation with the world's biggest Doug Christie fan, Mr. Andy Douglas, about what it's like to host this basketball summit in his favorite gym in the entire world.
Be a part of our diverse workforce with opportunities to learn and advance. Apply online at craigindustries.com or in person at 401 Delaware Street, Quincy, Illinois.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
All right, Andy, I know this is a huge weekend for not just your program, but for this community.
Yeah.
From your standpoint, what is it that you love most about this, and what do you take most from this weekend for you?
Selfishly, you know, as a coach, it doesn't get much better than this. I mean, you get a highly competitive group of games going on both Friday and Saturday night. You know, you don't have to go home and watch on TV. You can stay here and watch them in person and see some great games all day long. So from a selfish standpoint, from a coach's standpoint, and even a player's standpoint, for our group that really loves to watch basketball, you get a chance to watch some great games.
In modern society, we don't get a lot of gathering places and communities anymore. This place is the one place that kind of has that. You played here, your brother played here, your dad played here, your uncles famously all played here. I know this is a special place for you, but what does it mean when that kind of specialness kind of distills out to people who aren't part of the Blue Devil family?
It's huge, man. I've said for years, I was blessed to be a part of this program as a player, and I feel even more blessed to be a part of it as a coach. This city is great for basketball. The program is you know, historic. The level of tradition is unlike any that I've seen. I know I live this, so I can say that on our end, but it's fantastic. And to see the people come into the gym and take it all in, it's like, oh, you guys play in elementary school. They don't, you know, you get to teach them a little bit of the history of it. Back when my dad, my old man was playing, it was you know, the high school was here. But you know, it's great to see people step into the gym, take in what is Quincy Blue Devil basketball. Again, it's a blessing.
You know the difference between typical high school shootouts and academy type shootouts and prep school type shootouts. They're kind of antiseptic, I mean, for what people don't realize. And I was privy to that conversation last year. The #1 team in the country almost seemed jealous of you getting this environment.
Well, you know, I think it's huge for our guys because it kind of gives us a chance to tell them, hey, you got to understand how lucky we are to be in the position that we're in. And, you know, we'd see it from time to time within conference schools, within our non-conference schedule. You know, no matter how great the team is that we're playing, you know, the gym's 500 people and maybe 100 of them are Quincy fans, you know. So for our guys to be able to see some of the top players in the country, in the nation, some of the top teams in the nation play here and be overwhelmed with, you know, the crowd that we have, the amount of support that we have, the facilities that we have, like it's pretty special.
I know it's business time for you, but when the Blue Devil ceremony hits, do you ever just glance over at some of those kids, like from Link Academy, who were standing there in that corner last year and kind of notice that it is different for them?
It's hard not to. You know, I'm to be honest, every time I watch the Blue Devil ceremony, I get chills and it gets me going. I feel like I could play. I know I can't, but I feel like I could. But you know, it's great to see that. You know, we get to see you know, guys that are teams that are in our locker room from time to time throughout the day, and then the question starts coming around because YouTube videos are out there, and we'll post some stuff leading up to the shootout that has our Blue Devil ceremony in it as well. And these are guys that, again, are top-level players in high school, and You know, they're playing in front of 50 different D1 coaches and from here to there, and they have never seen anything like this before. The you know, stands being packed the way that they are, the amount of support that's given, and then the ceremony in and of itself is something different.
I know during the course of the shootout, you are omnipresent here. I mean, it's almost you never leave. And I know you get a lot of folks who get a chance, some rare access to you. What is it you usually hear, Andy? What are the questions that you get? Non-specific Blue Devil questions, but just people who come into this gym who are excited to be here, some of them for the first time. What do you usually hear?
Honestly, the number one thing that I hear is I wish we had a 7-foot guy.
I'm sure you do, yes.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with our 6'6" guys right now that are playing really well. But that's probably number one. And then it just becomes, you know, kind of more about the facility that we have, the community support, the amount of people that are here for games, you know, how everything kind of flows together. How did we get these teams? And gives me a chance to blow Eric Stratman's head up a little bit because he has done such a phenomenal job of getting these teams in year to year, and it's constantly gotten better every year.
There are a lot of people who never take the time. They're here all weekend long, never take the time up and come to access you. If you had a chance to say just something to them, and I know I hear it, I go to Waverly, I go to Winchester, and everybody's talking about this shootout. What would you say to those folks who take the time and sometimes treacherous drives, given the weather, to be here and to be a part of this, just because this isn't a basketball shootout, it's a gathering?
I mean, you got people that come in before the balls are even out on the floor, and they're ready to go, and they stay the entire day. We're thankful. You know, we're extremely thankful for the support that the shootout has been shown and given, the community that kind of rallies around it. I mean, we're putting you know, hundreds of people in hotel rooms and eating at local restaurants and get a chance to just kind of be Quincy for a weekend, which is great for our community. It's great for us, and we're really thankful for the support that they show, because it is cold weather sometimes, you know, sometimes snowing, and not always easy to get here. But you know, I know when I coached at Liberty, one of the things was, man, we wanted to get kids into Quincy High to watch games and be able to view that. And coaches are bringing teams in as well. So it's really cool to see. It's really cool to be a part of. And you know, again, I couldn't be more blessed to be in this position.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Duerr, working for you.
And welcome back to this special Quincy Shootout edition of Overtime. In recognition of all that blue chip talent that hit the stage in the Gem City here this week, we assembled a blue ribbon panel of Blue Devil basketball experts to help us compile a best of list from this event. A trio of experts that comprised of an accomplished sniper in Tyler Sprick, an elite dunk artist in Camden Brown, and perhaps the best on-ball defender in the state of Illinois in Ralph Wires, so as to have all the angles covered. And for our first assignment for these guys, we asked this trio to give us their take on the best Quincy High-centric moment of the entire shootout.
My favorite moment was Ralph's steal between the legs, and he shot it, because Coach Douglas was like, horrible shot. And then it went in, and everybody was going crazy, so that's my favorite moment.
I think my favorite moment was just after the game, just seeing that scoreboard, seeing that we won for sure.
My favorite moment was probably us getting that win. I mean, it was a big-time win, especially them being from Philly and everything, so it was a good win.
Dom, coming in off the bench, you know, playing like Dom as always, not thinking too much, but just playing his game. Coming in and getting that chase down block and going into the halftime, that was huge. That was a huge momentum shifter.
Ralph, Camden, and Tyler did express widely different opinions on two different topics. First, their favorite game to watch over the weekend.
Me personally, I would probably have to say the Oak Cliff versus Link game. You know, a lot of people came in that game thinking, oh, Oak Cliff's gonna get beat by 30, Oak Cliff's gonna get beat by 40. Oh, they got 5 stars. They got 5 stars here and there. But me personally, I'd have to say Oak Cliff, because once again, they battled. They battled and they battled and they battled. Their big man damn near broke his wrist, or broke his wrist. He was shooting with his left hand and everything else. You know, that shows true toughness. And you know, Coach Douglas, that's something that he always preaches, so that's something I gotta respect.
I like the Richwood game. Obviously, you know, they didn't win, but their big is, you know, he's very talented, and it was fun to watch.
I'm gonna say the Father Thorn and Curie game. I mean, it was a battle from start to the end. I mean, it was a real fun game to watch.
And as well, the visiting team they would most like to watch play again.
Oak Cliffs, whatever that team was, I like their style of play. I like how they, regardless of who they play, they never stopped fighting. Their point guard on their team, they were pretty nice. You know, a lot of people are going to say Link. They had the most skill, they had the most talent, of course, but me personally, I would say it was Oak Cliff.
Mine's probably Father Talton. I thought they played pretty well together, even though they lost. You know, they had a lot of dogs on their team, and unfortunately, they didn't come out with a win, but they still played pretty well.
I mean, I got to go Link. I mean, they got a whole bunch of bucket getters on their team. It was fun to watch.
But our panel of Blue Devil experts were in consensus agreement on 3 topics. The weekend's very best dunk.
You can never glaze too much, and we're not glazing. Everyone here wants y'all to know we're not glazing, but Father Talton, Zay Wilson, he put it down on a kid, and it was nasty. I'm not gonna lie.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna have to agree with that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with that one, but Rico had a nice one. Rico came in and almost posted a dude, so it was pretty nice.
We got the most high flyers in the state, and we want everyone to know that.
The Quincy shootout player they felt was most likely to be a pro someday.
Me personally,
I knew
I got this one.
I gotta say Brad. I gotta say Bradley Longcourt.
I got Brad
the third.
too.
I got Bradley Longcourt the third.
I got Bradley.
Bradley.
And the highlight of the weekend being able, at the shootout, to spend time and sign autographs for their youngest of fans.
I just love to give back, whether it's me training a kid at the gym, trying to help him out get better, or signing autographs. You know, it kind of makes my day, because, you know, back in the day, I used to be the same kid, so I'll never tell a kid. When a kid asks me for an autograph, it makes me feel pretty well.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. You know, it's really cool. You know, because at the end of the day, we're just high school students, you know, student athletes, and I think it's something special that we get to, you know, give back to the community and give back to little kids, and, you know, they look up to us, and so for us to, you know, sign their shirt or sign their, you know, clothing, it looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with them too on that one. I mean, it's just good to give back and everything. I mean, we was all those little kids once. I mean, you know, you would be heartbroken if they said no.
And yes, most importantly, on one more topic as well, as articulated perfectly by Ralph Wires, the most important basketball takeaway of the entire weekend.
We run the state of Illinois. We want everyone to fear us. Philly, Missouri, whoever. We own. Straight like that. We coming for state, baby.
You gotta love those guys. Great job, fellas. We also, of course, picked the brain of the patron saint of the Quincy Shootout and our podcast partner, Matt Shuckman, who saw just about every single bucket that happened over the weekend in Blue Devil Gym for the last 2 days. So we're calling these the Shuck Daddy Awards. And in agreement with our panel and just about everybody else who saw, Matt Shuckman said that Zay Wilson's dunk for Father Tolton was the best of the weekend. Shuck also agrees with Tyler Sprick that Rich Woods versus Lee Summit West was the best single game. I'm still partial to Camden Brown's pick of Tolton Curie myself, but will admit the lack of a win for Quincy native Jeremy Osborne as the head coach at Tolton probably sullied that a bit. Matt also took a 2-pronged approach to the best player debate, citing future Ohio State point guard John Mobley Jr. as the event's top player. But he also liked Jasper Johnson as the Link as the best pro prospect who appeared at the tournament. And as for the best moment, Shuck initially told us that Tyler Sprick's behind-the-back pass to Bradley Longcourt III in the Imhotep game was the pinnacle moment, but he also pointed out that the crowd war when Quincy High took command of that Imhotep game and the bench reaction when Ty Douglas was shooting free throws was equally good.